Welcome back to the Getting Out There podcast. It's episode 15 and just releasing it on the regular weekend on a Saturday or Sunday. Tomorrow will be mostly out for everybody, but I'm doing it a Saturday night ready for Sunday. Released it a bit earlier previously and had some good feedback. The numbers were a bit lower because maybe just out of the regular time, but people seemed to like having a guest on, and I'm glad the audio was good, and I look forward to doing it again. So in 2 weeks, I'm going camping with a bunch of friends and my kids. So yeah, looking forward to doing that. I actually just put another trailer for about $250 off eBay. It's solid. It's a high side trailer with 450mm sides and a little bit rusted out, but watch this space. There's going to be some work to be done, doing it on a budget. So looking forward to doing that. My mate Steve Hulls, who was on the show, he's just rejuvenated his trailer again. So looking forward to showing you some of the before and afters and the processes of doing that, because really you can buy a $10,000 camper trailer, or you can buy a trailer, spend under $1,000 on a trailer with the cover, throw your stuff in it and go camping. It's actually a joke. It's easier to carrying over 100 kilos in the car and on the roof. You're more likely going to save petrol. It's easier to load and unload, safer when you're not on the roof, particularly if you've got kids. And it's not hard. Any car can tow a trailer, and not to mention, it's a project to do. So I'll go into depth a little bit more about that. But essentially, I had a trailer that I've done that with. We've done about 4 or 5 trips. I bought a tradie trailer and redid it up, put some wheels and whatnot on it. Spoke about it in the past. I sold it and didn't have a trailer, so needed a trailer to do a few things, and that included going away. So found this trailer for $250 on eBay, and so looking forward to doing it up. And speaking of, it was I found a bargain in BCF. It was for a jockey wheel that's normally $100, and Google was saying it was $20. I walked in, I was willing to pay the $80, whatever BCF special they have. And the lady goes, "Oh, no, it's actually $20 on Google. So we have to honor that price." So they honored the price. It was awesome. So I was glad to at least spend $20 on a jockey wheel, on an ARC jockey wheel. And then you had $16 for the bolts. It was quite funny. So the budget build started, and looking forward to just finding some secondhand wheels to put on it, put new bearings in it, give it a bit of a scrub, give it a bit of a paint, possibly a bit of extra metal, as it has a few rust holes. So looking forward to seeing what we're going to do there. So today, I was talking about, going camping, and it was funny because, me being Italian, I've got heaps of, Greek, Maltese friends and whatnot as well. And we were talking about, how we go camping and what we're prepared to do, go camping, whether it be, bring a spanakopita for everybody to eat, or, bring so much food, how much salami we bring, how much cheese or whatnot, bring platters of food. And, back in the day, a lot of people just bought a packet of snacks from Safeway and just bought some bread, and that was their food for the next 5 days. And, you turn up with your friends, Italian or Greek, they're bringing slabs of meat. Someone's even brought a bloody spit. Someone's got the bloody gyros going, or even a bit of pasta going with the meat sauce cooking on the spot. And we had some fun times talking about it. But, that was brought on from, some of our parents went camping, some not. So, it's those home things we had that we brought camping. So, and I thought today I'll go through 5 things that you're going camping with wogs, or you have wog parents when you're going camping. In other words, I'm saying to my mum and dad, I'm going camping, and, they give you the food and whatnot to go away camping. So I had literally going on the top of my head about this one. I haven't even thought of it too much, because it's just something I always laugh about when we go camping is, I won't, my mum will pack enough apples for everybody going camping. You say how many people's camping, you say there's 10 people camping, there's 20 apples in the bloody fridge. Not to mention how much room you actually have camping, because, as we know, space is precious. If it was up to her, I put another esky in the car just to carry food for everybody else, including myself, even though I already bought everything I need. Pretty much exactly what you would have bought, but you bought more because it was on special. But the top 5 things I can think of is when you're going camping is say you go to Vic High Country in winter. You've been given a jacket that was your uncle's, when he was 26 in 1980 something, and I remember my mum when I went to the snow for the first time, she gave me my grandfather's Snowy River merino undergarment. What do you call it? Thermal. When he wore at the Snowy River when he first came in the country from Italy to Australia. I still have it today. I haven't worn it, but I had worn it those couple of times when I went to the snow. So the hand-me-downs of other people's stuff, whether it be camping gear that, here's a stove I used in the 80s. You put a gas bottle to that and a match, the whole thing will go up, including the gas bottle that came with it that was, last time tested 1981. Or the jackets, you got the snow jackets, you got the filler jackets from 1978 sitting in your, to wear camping. But don't put a burn hole in it because you will be coming home in one piece. Or you'll feel so guilty. You'll be coming home in you'll be in different pieces by the end of the day. So, yeah, it was funny all the hand-me-downs that I got given over the years, whether it be, old pots, old pans and stuff. And, yeah, you use it for the first time. But it was just funny all the hand-me-downs. That was, I guess other cultures do it too, but just particularly, they just want you to save money. They want you to use something they used. And they almost get offended if you don't use it. It's quite funny. I remember not using a stove and, why didn't you use the stove? I used it back in the day. It was fantastic. It did everything. You're like, yeah, but I was tested 30 years ago. The regs have changed. The seals were cracked. You would have spent more buying fixing that stove than buying a new one. And we all know how cheap it is to buy things these days. You can buy a stove for a couple, $20 and buy a gas bottle. Even just get those butane cans. You can do so much. It's hilarious. So, yeah, just the hand-me-downs. Number 2, how much food you bring. So if you're going camping, like I said, you tell him how many people are coming. She's bought presents for, she's giving everybody lollies camping that, say there's 10 kids coming. There's, 20 packets, more than 20 packets of M&M fun sizes for everybody else. Knowing that your kids are looking at it in the car, they could probably scoff the whole thing on the way up on to camping. But the amount of food, people just bring the sausages, like I said. You got a platter of cheese, you got the salami out, you got everything out. You got, I know when I go camping, I always bring my cafetiere. I think everyone I went with had instant coffee when I went camping, and now everybody has a cafetiere. That's a stovetop coffee. You put real coffee in, and you put the water, and it boils up once you put it on the stove and drink it. Try it. I'll put a little bit more about that another day. Don't drink Blend 43. It's shit. You'd rather just drink the river water. It's probably better for you. Just those things like the food. Just bring some of those traditions to home out in the bush, and the amount of food you probably cook. You'll end up putting the roast for everybody on for everybody camping with you. And, everyone's just completely full. But the space to bring it all up with you, you do it once as a novelty, but the next time you're like, shit, I better reduce it because I end up having to buy a trailer just to tow food. So, no, it's really good. It's pretty funny in the day. But number 3, all the campsites they went to back in the day, you got to try and visit again. Some don't even exist. Some even... not even reachable anymore. Some of them are probably not even allowed to be on it anymore. Some are probably illegal back then and probably even worse now. But some of the spots I heard about back in the day, it must have been so interesting to go camping then. It was so basic. It was like, I remember my uncle gave me my first swag. It was just one of those, the swag that you put the flap over. There was no zips. There was no poles. There was just that. And I think I used it once or twice, and never forget waking up with, I went to Southern 80 in Echuca, used that once, and the amount of creepy crawlies you wake up with in the morning, that was hilarious. But I never forget, though, how simple it was. And then when you tell them what you got now today, and that's basic to go camping, and they're like, what do you need all that for? You know what we did back in the day, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, yeah, I know you did. Like, the market's grown in 50 years. Like, relax. So it's quite funny how many people you do. Number 4, and I'm probably a creature of comfort to this as well, is if you've got no reception, you do the phone call to check in to say you're alive, whether it be a partner, whether it be your mum or dad, or, you do the check in like, yeah, everyone's alive, everyone's all good, everyone's having a good time. I guess they did that. My family's done that, sort of that check-in call, and sometimes I do jump in the car and go to reception to make that phone call. It's a bit of assurance to yourself, admittedly, but sometimes it's assurance to your family, just to, let them know you're alive. Maybe put a GPS coordinate where you are, because most of the places you can go camping may not have reception where you are. So just checking in, keep them less paranoid, a bit happy. Have a bit of a chinwag of what you're doing, having how much fun you're having, or what you need to do, and don't ever tell them you're hungry though, because I'll tell you should have brought more food. Or never say you're cold. Ever say you're cold. You'll never hear the end of it. You'll never hear the end of it, especially with your folks. So, especially my folks. I remember, hey, I'm bloody cold today. Like, why didn't you bring that? I thought, you get lectured. Don't bother. Don't go down that rabbit hole. Number 4 is probably back to the food. Yeah, call it a repeat, but what do you want to say? Number 4 was bringing the homemade wine, bringing the homemade grappa, or, some form of homemade salami, cheese that someone's made, and you saved it for that special trip to share with your mates. I think I've done that a few times. Brought the grappa to put in the coffee, if you just have it straight. Brought a bottle of wine, something a bit special. Brought the salami, or, that was something, that I used to save for those trips, because, it was special to, cut up the salami that I would have made back a little while ago, and, put it with some cheese, put it with some bread, put in some eggs. That was just fun. Being proud of bringing your home produce out in the bush and you cooking it was probably one of my favorite things of doing, and I was pretty proud of doing, and I'll continue try and do that again and move that on to my kids. It's something that's unfortunately not many of our generation do anymore, and I haven't admittedly done it for a couple of years, but I have all the equipment to do so, and I'm going to start doing it again admittedly. So, bring your home produce out camping, or even some of the relatives that's dropped it off for your parents or someone. I remember, being given that in the past, and it was so good because, everyone just have a laugh. You have a bit of a story to tell. Then everybody starts opening about their stories as well, no matter what culture it is. And it was a discussion starter. It really just started, literally started a discussion of different things. And I'll never forget it. Like one time, went with a group of friends that half of them I didn't even know. And, how much you have related to a group of people at the end of the trip. It was fun. And, there was the same people we all went out for dinner with. There was the same people, we invited for Salami Day. It was freaking cool. And some people didn't even know how to do it, what to do, and were curious. And I said, come over next time, we'll do it. We all had a session in the garage and made salami with a bunch of mates. Half of them were just talking about it when we went camping. So it was great fun. It was great. It was opening up, new avenues and stuff. And, even any culture, you bring something, a kid brings a toy camping and everyone's playing with it, and that kid goes the next day and buys it. Like, same thing. Like, we're all, the inner child comes out. It's great. I remember, my kids were playing with a bunch of my mates, and they had a particular toy, and literally the week after we got it, and they kept playing with it, and they played with their friends, and it moved on. So, it's those things that you can bring, put onto you, carry on, and, may try something new. So, yeah, it's good. It's good fun doing that. And number 5, and Umpo is one of those ones who probably done this a little while ago, long time ago, is you're the latest or the earliest that turns up to camp with the loudest stereo or the most amount of lights on their car flashing in and out and causing havoc on the other campers hanging around. So, yeah, back in the day, I probably, we did to the Sun 80 and turn up at 6 in the morning, so we drove all night in our Commodore. And I had 2 subwoofers in the back and, waking everybody up. We probably just went to bed a couple hours ago. Yeah, that was funny. We weren't really looked at that well, and, always had the loud stereo. I wouldn't say I was doing burnouts or anything, but we're probably creating a little bit more dust than we should have. And, yeah, it was fun. It was I was back in my earlier days. And even recently, I think it was when I went camping once, we turned up at midnight, and I literally couldn't see. And I saw my mates and I flashed my lights because I literally just put a light bar on the top of the Prado at the time. And I turned up and this guy went off at me like a pork chop, swearing, carrying on. And we're just like, mate, relax. Like, you know, he parked his ass camping in the middle of a fork on the main road in a busy campsite. One, it wasn't that late. Two, he was in a tent and he went off his chops. Anyway, I went there past him the next day and apologised, but also told him, mate, don't swear and carry on. We've got families here. Like, just, you know, enjoy your time. Shut up. Like, keep it down. You didn't have to go off like that. Like, relax. So, yeah, I think maybe that is a cultural thing. Maybe I don't know, but that was something I did. That's something I was always had the loud stereo. I was, yeah, I think that's something I used to. I just got excited going out. I don't know. That was just me personally. I enjoyed the enthusiasm I had going away. You know, you work hard for it. You want to do fun things. And, yeah, for me personally, that was me. So I can admit that. And I'm probably just sure of your mates out there who do that as well. And you have a laugh, but at the same time, you're like, geez, you know, shut up, mate. Relax. You know, I'm not like that anymore as much, admittedly, not all the time. So, you know, turning 40, I guess I got to show a good example of my kids. But at the same time, kids do it as well. They're loud, they're excited when they turn up, and you know they're going to check out everything and do things. So, yeah, that's my 5 things. So, what are your 5 things or anything? Depending on what culture, there's a lot of cultures out there. So let me know. Give me some feedback on Insta and the email. Like and subscribe to the channel. I'd like to hear some more feedback from you guys, particularly through Spotify and Apple podcasts, and the 2 popular places that I'm getting audience from. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And I look forward to the next episode. Until then, enjoy the long weekend if you're in Melbourne, the Melbourne Cup weekend. If you've got the Monday off, lucky you. Enjoy it. You know, summer's coming up. I've got a few tips there coming up, and I'm looking forward to my trip in 2 weeks. I'll have an episode about before then, and I'll have a recap episode after that. What we learned, what we did, and, you know, some tips for you guys. So enjoy the rest of the day and night, wherever you are listening from, and let's look forward to speaking to you soon again too. Cheers. Bye.